Okay, so the 2021 set for acid-base equilibria says hydrogen sulfide H2S is slightly soluble in water. It acts as a weak acid in aqueous solution. State the meaning of weak acid. Again, whenever you talk about acid, weak acid, you first of all try to define acid to the examiner and then tell him what weak means, right? So what is an acid? It's a proton donor. Absolutely. And now what does weak mean? Weak means that it partially ionizes in an aqueous solution. So a proton donor which partially ionizes in an aqueous solution. And if you are a PSN and Excel student, please do not write partially ionizes in an aqueous solution. This English is considered wrong, and I also consider this English wrong. I'd rather this English be more like PSN and Excel uses, which is it only very slightly ionizes in an aqueous solution, right? Now, give the formula of the conjugate base of H2S. The conjugate base would just have one fewer hydrogen ion, one fewer proton, right? So it should be HS, and if you remove a proton from it, it should now have a negative charge on it, and that's it. Easy. 2021. SO2 can be removed from air by reacting with it with NaOH. Construct the equation for SO2 reacting with NaOH. We all know this. SO2 reacting with NaOH, it's a base and acid reaction because SO2 is an acidic oxide. So if you want to write the negative ion for SO2, just add an oxygen and put 2 minus on it. And sodium ion is right here. So what should the salt be? Na2SO3 should be the salt. You just cross multiply. Na2SO3 should be the formula of the salt, and you're going to end up with H2O. And it's saying it includes state symbols. So we know SO2 is a gas, NaOH is aqueous, Na2SO3, we know sodium salts, they are group 1 salts, they are all soluble, so this is aqueous, and H2O is a liquid arena. And if you were to balance this, you have 2 NAs on the right, you should also have 2 NAs on the left, and I'm just going to add a 2 here, and other than that, it's a balanced equation. Next. H3PO4 and HI are both strong Bronsted-Lowry acids. What's the meaning of strong Bronsted-Lowry acid? Again, explain acid to the examiner and explain strong to the examiner. It's a proton donor. That's what an acid is. It's a proton donor. And strong means which fully ionizes in an aqueous solution. Next, give the formula of the conjugate base of H3PO4. Conjugate base means what? Just remove a hydrogen ion from it. And so if you remove a hydrogen ion, there should be an overall negative charge from it. You're removing a positive, so it should become relatively negative. So when I remove a hydrogen ion, it should not be H3PO4, it should be H2PO3. It shouldn't be H3PO3, it should be H2PO3, right? And there should be a negative charge now. That's it. Define the term Bronsted-Lowry base. A base, Bronsted-Lowry base is what? A proton acceptor. That's it. Write an ionic equation for the reaction between ClO minus and H2O. We've already done this in chapter number 4. ClO minus reacting with H2O. What exactly happens? The H2O gives it a proton and it becomes HClO, which also is responsible for killing bacteria in swimming pools, right? We all know that. And then you end up with OH minus, because obviously H2O gave a proton, so it's going to be left with a negative charge. And what are the state symbols? He's not asked us the state symbols, but if you were to write state symbols, this is aqueous, this is liquid, this is aqueous, and this is aqueous. Please do not be a Panne Khan and do Terneli. If they don't ask you for state symbols, please do not write state symbols, because if you write the incorrect state symbols, you will not get the marks for it. Next, the concentration of NaClO in bleach S is x gram per dm cube. NaClO reacts with H2O2 as shown. 5 cm cube sample of S completely reacts with H2O2. The volume of oxygen produced is 24 cm cube under room conditions. And what that means is, if you are given 24 cm cube under room conditions, you can absolutely say, hey, V equals N times 24,000. You can absolutely use this to figure out the moles of oxygen. And once you have the moles of oxygen, you could figure out the moles of NaClO. And once you have the moles of NaClO, you could find the concentration of NaClO, because you have the moles of NaClO, you have the volume of NaClO, you could figure out the concentration. And once you can figure out the concentration in mole per dm cube, obviously convert this in dm cube. So once you figure out the concentration in mole per dm cube, you can convert it into gram per dm cube by converting the moles of NaClO into the mass of NaClO, because he's asked you the concentration in gram per dm cube. So let's get on with it, and let's just do it. V is equal to N times 24,000. That's basically, we want to figure out the moles of O2, right? So V is given 24, yeah, and N times 24,000. N equals 24 divided by 24,000. What do we get? N is equal to 1 into 10 raised power minus 3. These are the moles of oxygen, sir. And now we don't need the moles of oxygen, we need the moles of NaClO, and it's 1:1. If you see, one oxygen is one NaClO is required to make one oxygen. So they're both in 1:1, which means if you have these many moles of oxygen, how many moles of NaClO would you have? The same moles, 1 into 10 raised power minus 3 moles. And now you can figure out the concentration. N equals Cv. You have the moles of NaClO. You need to figure out the concentration. Volume of NaClO is given 5 cm cube, 5 into 10 raised power minus 3, because I want to convert it into dm cube, right? So figure out concentration. It's 1 into 10 raised power minus 3 divided by 5 into 10 raised power minus 3, effectively 1 over 5. That gives me what? That gives me 0.2 mole per dm cube, right? And now you don't need it in mole per dm cube, you need it in mass per dm cube, right? Gram per dm cube. So how do you go from moles of NaClO to mass of NaClO? Mass equal mole times molar mass, right? Or mole times MR, whatever you want to call it, right? The proper idea behind it is molar mass. So what's the mass? You need to figure out this stuff out. What's the mole? 0.2 moles. Molar mass of NaClO, Na is 23, chlorine is 35.5, oxygen is 16. What do you guys get? You get what? You get what? You get 74.5. So 0.2 multiplied by 74.5. What do we get? We get 14.9. So 14.9 gram per dm cube is basically the concentration in gram per dm cube. Done. And you could have also first figured out, you could have taken these moles and converted it into mass, and then said, hey, mass equal Cv, right? You could have also done that stuff directly. So it's up to you. Figure out the concentration in mole per dm cube and then convert it into mass per dm cube, or take the moles and convert it into mass and then calculate the concentration in gram per dm cube. It's up to you. Next question. Next question says, Q forms when heat Cl reacts with blah 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 blah, and it says explain what is meant by the term weak Bronsted-Lowry acid. Acid is what? Acid is a proton donor, and weak means what? Which partially ionizes in an aqueous solution, partially dissolves in an aqueous solution, partially ionizes in an aqueous solution. But if you're a PSN and Excel student, it's always right, only very slightly ionized in an aqueous solution. Ethine, HCN, and Q all contain the bond blah blah blah. A triple bond consists of 1 sigma bond and 2 pi bonds. Okay, draw a label diagram to show the formation of 1 pi bond. We know we can easily show the formation of 1 pi bond, although this is chapter 2, but here you go. This is how pi bond looks like. Both of these above and below the plane contribute to the pi bond, right? And that's it, 2 marks, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Explain what is meant by the term weak Bronsted-Lowry acid. Acid again is what? It's a proton donor, and weak means what? Which partially ionizes in aqueous solution. Done. Next. 2021 set is over.